Let's look at the graphs of the reciprocal functions. Remember that secant and cosecant were reciprocals. The cosecant is a reciprocal of the sine, the secant is the cosine. These two functions will have vertical asymptotes just as the tangent and cotangent function. For cosecant, where sine of x equals 0. For secant, where cosine of x equals 0. Vertical asymptotes correspond to the place where the sine of x equals 0 for cosecant and the cosine of x equals 0 for the secant. We'll look at the graphs here. There's the sine of x and the cosecant, the cosine and the secant. Okay, try to get them in your mind. There's a trick to graphing them. The fundamental period for the secant and cosecant is 2 pi, just as for the sine and cosine. So the horizontal stretch shrink will be determined by 2 pi over b for y equal, and in each case, the secant and cosecant. So check out my graphs there. The horizontal translation will be determined in the same way as for the sine and cosine. Horizontal translation is c over b. So if you have bx minus c, move it to the right, move it to the left when bx plus c. Compare these graphs here for the y equals the secant of x, and now amplitude is not defined since the range for the cosecant is minus infinity to minus 1 and 1 to infinity. Same for the secant, since there is no maximum or minimum points for these functions. However, there is a gap in the middle. The a in the general equation does impact the shape. Compare y equals cosecant to 1/2. There is a neat trick for graphing these reciprocal functions. Try the following as we go. At the end of this frame, stop the video and try the instructions. For example, you want to graph the cosecant. Start by graphing y equals the sine of 2x minus pi over 4. Determine the period and the phase shift, and then sketch the sine curve. Okay, did you get the period equals pi? And the phase shift equals c over b, which is pi over 4 over 2 or pi over 8. If not, stop the video and try again. Now, sketch in your horizontal lines at the maximum and the minimum of the function. In this case, y equals 1, y equals minus 1. Since there is no vertical translation and the amplitude is 1, stop the video and sketch. Now, cut the graph on the x-axis and flip the top of the graph up and the bottom down. You then have the graph, in this case, the cosecant, complete with asymptotes. Y equals cosecant of 2x minus pi over 4. You're going to do the same with the secant, except you'll use the cosine function. All right, your graph should look like this. If it doesn't, try again. It's really very easy.